Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And gentlemen, good to see you. I want to begin by thanking you for your service to our country, which has been exceptional from all three of you. I also want to compliment the Air Force in a big way. General, you know, General Brown, Mr. Secretary, the F-35 bed down at Eielson started on April 20th. Pretty difficult time, if we all remember April 2020. And I'm sure you've heard the last F-35 of the two squadrons is arrived. So on time, on budget during the biggest pandemic in 100 years. It's remarkable, remarkable work by the Air Force. I don't even know how you did that. So thank you. As you know, that now provides Alaska with over 100 fifth-gen fighters. No place on the planet Earth has 100 combat-coded fifth-gen fighters. And I think the Russians and the Chinese certainly are noticing. So appreciate that exceptional work by your team, and please pass that on to all the members in Alaska and everybody else who made that happen. It was a really incredible feat. So thank you very much for that. Secretary Kendall, and for both generals, I've been disappointed, to be honest, by the budget submitted by the President. Last year, he put forward a budget that was real defense cuts. Secretary Austin, Chairman Milley testified a couple of weeks ago saying this was the biggest threat situation globally they've seen in 50 years, and yet the budget is a 4% cut. 4% increase, 8% inflation is a inflation-adjusted 4% cut to the department. Are you supportive of that kind of cut, Mr. Secretary?
I don't believe we've made a cut. I think we had a significant increase, at least in the Air Force and Space Force budgets.
Overall, I'm talking.
Overall, we're 11% above the 22 request. We're 6%, I believe, above the 22 enactment.
No, I asked for the overall DOD budget. It's a 4% cut by any measure.
I'm not sure how you're doing your math, Senator.
Well, I'll do my math right now. 4% increase from last year, which we boosted because the President put forward a weak defense budget. We increased it here in the Armed Services Committee. 8% inflation, it's actually 8.5%. That's pretty simple math, Mr. Secretary. That's a 4.5% real inflation-adjusted cut to the Department of Defense. Maybe you can just wave off, say you're in charge of the Air Force, but you support that? That's a cut.
We're prepared to work with the Congress on inflation.
Okay.
We know that inflation's uncertain right now for 23.
Well, look, I know that a number of our uniform members don't support this, but have to because the President's Commander-in-Chief, and I understand that. I actually respect that, but we don't have to support the President's budget. We didn't last year, and I doubt we'll do it this year in this committee. Let me ask, Mr. Secretary, with regard to the Joint Pacific-Alaska Range Complex, JPARC, I've been briefed on the need for the Joint Range Operations Center, the JROC, as a necessary item to integrate highly classified systems on 4th, 5th, and 6th gen aircraft, simulating combat against peer adversaries. A number of folks have seen that as very important. Should we expect to see this as a priority in the Air Force's budget, both the JPARC upgrades and the JROC that will enable us to not only operationalize the training there, but to make it have implications for real-world contingencies? When I went to Northern Edge last year with Admiral Aquilino, this was a topic that was on everybody's mind. I know you and I have talked about it. General Brown, I'd welcome your view on this as well.
JPARC is obviously of great importance to us. It's one of our premier ranges. It's critical for us to be able to train the way we need to train. I don't have information for you now. I'll have to take it for the record on the specific facility that you asked about.
The JROC. General, do you have a view on that?
Yeah, so Jay Park is one of our two key ranges. The other ones there, the Nellis Test and Training Range, and Jay Park is a second. And as we look at our range complex across the Air Force, those are the two primary ones that we want to upgrade. And I'll have to look into the details on the J-Rock, but knowing you got to have that capability in order to actually be able to operate and train like we need to for a increasing threat.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.